Oh my gosh, that is excellent coffee. All right, that's a good place to start right there. Welcome back. It is a Monday morning, and for a Monday morning, it feels kind of weird to me right now because um, it's been a while since I've done a Facebook Live. It's been since last, was it Wednesday or something? Wednesday when I did the last one, and it was just one of those long extended breaks and that it kind of throws you off. If you don't do something for a while, getting back into the swing of things is kind of like um, it's kind of weird, you know. And but I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Today we're going to be talking about letting go. Why did I choose letting go for today's topic? Today's topic of letting go was chosen because we're getting to the end of 2020, and there's a lot that we've been holding on to, this year. And yesterday evening, uh, when we got home, my wife is like, "Hey, have you heard of Death to 2020?" I was like, What is that?" So it's like a special or something on Netflix, something. All right, so I looked it up, and it was, kind of a comedic, dark comedy take on 2020 and everything that happened, and it was really interesting. But what's weird is that I'm watching it and I'm like, that happened in 2020, one of those kind of things. So watching the whole thing unfold was interesting. Obviously, a lot of satire and things like that. But good morning, Chris. But just watching it was kind of, I don't know, refreshing, and it reminded you some stuff that had happened in 2020 that you might have forgotten about. Just it did touch obviously on the larger things, so you can check it out. Death to 2020 on Netflix. So today I'm going to be doing this article, looking at some quotes on an article on Success.com called "Stop Taking Yourself So Seriously." 10 quotes about happiness, laughter, and letting go. So it may not be exactly about letting go of stuff that you're hanging on to, but there's portion of it has to do with it, right? And I'm all about happiness and laughter too. If you looking around my room, I mean, just it's hilarious that I can actually work here. One, two, I have things like Bill the Cat, Captain Caveman, and a couple things like that. So for me, humor is very important, and it's always been a part of who I am, and probably will be, for the rest of my life. So today we're going to be talking about that. 10 quotes about happiness, laughter, and letting go. And I'd like to add the freedom that you find within. And one of the first ones deals with that. But the article starts like this: Life is beautiful and magical, and all things wonderful if you let it be. Sometimes we get distracted by missteps and misfortunes, and we take it to heart. We let it take the magic away, and that's very, very important. It doesn't have to be that way. If you'll just stop taking life so seriously. I know you've met somebody who just can't help but take life too seriously and everything too seriously. The article continues: Learn to laugh at yourself. Find a way to let go. Here are 10 quotes to help you find humor and happiness in your life. So, cheers, your morning coffee, and an awesome cup, right? I got for my wife. Mm, that is top notch coffee right there. Number one is from Amy Poehler. Such an extremely talented comedian, Amy Poehler. Wow. And this quote is great, and it's a great one to kick off the talk today. There's power in looking silly, in not caring that you do. That is incredible. Now, what kind of power or what kind of hold do people have on themselves when they do not allow themselves to not take themselves so seriously? When everything has to be just right, everything has to be just exactly right, and they cannot, for the life of them, allow themselves to be or look silly. That is a huge, huge thing for people. Like, I know people on, just personal. Obviously, you can think of people internationally or nationally that just cannot. And I think obviously sometimes the position dictates that you cannot look silly. Oh, this makes me look silly. I don't care to button all the way up. Anyway, there's power in looking silly and not caring that you do. Obviously, maybe you don't want your, um, I don't know, 5-star general to be, say, hey, look at this new walk I learned from the Ministry of Silly Walks, or whatever. But the position dictates the level of seriousness, decorum, and all that. But that's not 24/7. That's not 24/7. I hope and pray that every single person at some point in their life, whether it's with a child or loved one or someone you care about, allows themselves to be silly. You know, be silly. There's power in looking silly and not caring that you do. Amy Poehler. Next one is from Albert Hubbard. He says, "Do not take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive." That is a classic quote. Classic quote. You'll never get out of this life alive. And it's a fact. You got one shot, right? I mean, not, I was had this. It was a previous Facebook Live that I was talking about appreciating life. I think it was, and Jeff Dunn, an acquaintance of mine. I'd like to call him a friend, right? But we've only met as a fan, right? But he had a near death experience. Well, not near death. He literally his heart stopped for a good amount of time, and he was talking about appreciating life. It's like I've been there. And a whole new appreciation for life. And when you think about it that way, it's like the quote, "Do not take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive," is like a tonic. You know, if you think about what's in this particular quote, this particular tonic about not taking life too seriously, it's powerful. Allowing yourself to laugh, allowing yourself to, laugh at the absurdities, not just things that, laugh at things that are funny, laughing at the absurdities or laughing at yourself for allowing yourself to hang on to something for too long is huge. Huge. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. There's no other way around it. I've discovered this in my life. I remember one time laughter and inappropriate times, right? A couple of times. One of the biggest ones I had, and I'm not sure if I've shared this before, but I was an altar boy. I was, you know, participating in the mass. Like this was when I was in the seminary, my junior year in high school, and as a seminarian, we participated in mass. So we were altar boys, and I was up there. And it's a huge, you know, um, not chapel, right? It was huge. It was big. It was a church, and I'm on this side. The altar is to my right, and my friend is across from me, right? And it's early in the morning, and there's this fellow student in the front row who was notorious for falling asleep, and he's sitting there, and you could just see it coming. You can just see it coming, and he just starts nodding off, slowly but surely. And I'm like, this is not good, right? Because if something starts striking you funny and there's a wind up to it, oh my gosh. When there's a wind up to it, there's going to be some sort of explosion of laughter, right? So I'm there and I look over, and I think my friend across the way told me, like, check it out over here, right? So I look and I'm like, oh no, right? So he starts nodding off. This kid, he was a freshman, I think, and he's not doing one of these, right, going back and forth. And at some point, he just stopped, and we're looking at him, and we're already fidgeting, right, because we're already the laughter's bubbling up inside. and all of a sudden the drool drops out, and we're one of those, and the priest is doing the consecration, right? So he tells us. I think at that point we were by that time we were by the altar or something. It's been a while, and he just tells us go to the back. This is during mass, right? So we book it to the back because we just can't, right? So as soon as we're around the back, we bust out laughing. I mean, we're talking about laughing, gut busting laughter, just rolling with laughter, right? There's no doors. There's no soundproofing. So after about 5 seconds of that, the priest stops the mass, unbeknownst to us, and storms back there. Just outside. Oh my God. So, we're still dressed in what we had to wear. And we just, run outside and close the door and we just continue laughing. Of course, now we're terrified because this is like the priest in charge of the school. And oh my gosh. So, yeah, we got it later. So, laughter, when even in serious circumstances, inappropriate circumstances, I think you sometimes have to. You know, there's been episodes of TV shows where there's laughter at funerals, right, because of the absurdity or the situation or something somebody says. But there has to be laughter. It's a release, the release of tension. Don't take life too seriously. You will never get out of it alive. Albert Hubbard. The third one is from Dr. Seuss. From there to here and here to there. Funny things are everywhere. Yes, funny things are everywhere. Why does it matter that there are funny things everywhere? Because we need them. We need that escape valve, that release, pressure release valve that is humor, pressure release valve that is, laughter. There's no, that's why they call it a icebreaker, a tension reliever, because you're kind of popping that tension free and letting it go, allowing that to happen, having the skill or just not being afraid of being able to try and break the tension is a phenomenal freedom to allowing yourself to look at something, to be able to release tension, to look at the absurdities, to look at opportunities to release that tension. Find them from there to here and here to there. Funny things are everywhere. Dr. Seuss. Next one is from Horace. Mix a little foolishness with your serious plans. Excuse me. It is lovely to be silly at the right moment. I agree with that. The right moment, but there's also being silly at the wrong moment. Mm. I think there's a caveat to that. Being silly at the wrong moment for the right reason. Being silly at the wrong moment. Mm, for the right reason. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Just being silly to be silly in an absolute wrong moment. You gotta, there's a line. Some people will cross it and they have to deal with the consequences. And it is what it is. But mix a little foolishness with your serious plans. It is lovely to be silly at the right moment. Horace. Why am I talking about being happiness and laughter? Because it's been that kind of a year where we need to be able to look at the other side of what we've been dealing with this entire year. Mark Twain is our next quote. Humor is the great thing, the saving thing after all. The minute it crops up, all our hardnesses yield, all our irritations and resentments flit away, and a sunny spirit takes their place. That is all about humor. And if you want to talk humor, Mark Twain. Wow. I had the opportunity to see uh, a live theater production of Mark Twain live. Not obviously Mark Twain, but oh man, I can't remember the actor's name. Um, and I have it at the tip of my tongue. Um, and it was just, well, to me, talk about absurdity, right? Because we had the opportunity to see it, right? Yeah, Hal Holbrook, Mark Twain Tonight. It was a one man play devised by Hal Holbrook in which he depicts Mark Twain, and I got to see him. He won a Tony Award for Best Performance by a Leading Actor in a Play for that appearance and an Emmy Award. And I got to see him in Corpus Christi with my English teacher at the time. And I had a severe cold. I think I had the flu. So I'm there. I'm literally sweating. I'm shivering. I'm coughing, trying not to cough. People are offering me cough drops. I'm taking them as much as I can. It was awesome and horrible at the same time because I got to see it, but that's what I had to deal with, you know? But at least I was there. Humor is the great thing, the saving thing after all. The minute it crops up, all our hardnesses yield, all our irritations and resentments flit away, and a sunny spirit takes their place. There's nothing more beautiful and satisfying and heartwarming than running into someone that lifts your spirits, that makes you smile, that gives you that um, that makes you forget whatever you're dealing with at that moment. You know, I love to be that person. I can't be that person all the time to everyone. I love to be that person, make people smile, but I love being the recipient of that. You know, someone who does that for me. It's awesome. I love it, and you got to take advantage. You got to take advantage. Sometimes you have to seek them out if you feel like, oh man. And don't get me wrong, don't put them on the spot where it's like only you can save me, right? But if they're available, yeah, take advantage of it. You know, you need, like I said, goes back to that pressure release. The next quote is from Buddha: "Learn to let go. That is the key to happiness." Wow, let it go. This coffee's phenomenal. Um, Learn to let go. That is the key to happiness. Emotional baggage. Emotional baggage. It's bad enough as it is living life, right? Having the disappointments and you know the anxieties, the self-imposed anxieties that we heap upon ourselves. But I mean, it happens, right? Good morning, Sky. It happens. You have anxieties. You have situations and things you wish you could take back. Things you could wish you could redo. Relationships, things like that. Uh, but letting go. Learn to let go. That is the key to happiness. Imagine if, as your years kept going, you kept, you know, you kept everything. You kept all that emotional baggage from as long as you can remember. Imagine how heavy is that going to be to the end of your life, and how much is that going to be weighing you down? It's like you're pulling an empty sled across the snow, and all of a sudden you just keep piling rock upon rock upon rock. You know, I mean, learn to let go. That is the key to happiness. Buddha. And that's a great one as we get ready to end 2020. Next one is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. It says, "Most of the shadows of this life are caused by standing in one's own sunshine." So don't stand in your sunshine like to block your happiness. Expose yourself to the sun and take in the sun and take in the happiness. Take in the radiance of people that make your life better or make you feel happy and make you feel appreciated or just lighten the load that you're carrying, lightening the burden. Take it in like vitamin D from our sun, you know. Most of the shadows of this life are caused by standing in one's own sunshine. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The next one is from Laura. One more time. Laura Ingalls Wilder. A good laugh overcomes more difficulties and dissipates more dark clouds than any other one thing without a doubt. That's why I love comedies. That's why I just look for things that make me laugh, make me smile, make me happy. I think we all have to. It's human nature. We have to. It would be a sad, sad, dark, dour place, depressing place if no one looked for the happiness in life. And it's can't I know, can't always be rainbows and sunshines and butterflies and unicorns. But I think if you look for it, look for the positivity and look for the happiness and look for the joy and things that brighten your day and make you smile, you'll find more of them. You will find more of them if that is what you are looking for. If you're looking for moments of happiness, looking for moments of peace, looking for moments of laughter and joy, if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you are attuning yourself for, you'll find more of them. A good laugh overcomes more difficulties and dissipates more dark clouds than any other one thing. Laura Ingalls Wilder. Confucius said, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Truly wise words. Truly wise words from Confucius. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Technology was supposed to make our life simpler and easier. Now you'll have time to spend with the family as technology takes over the mundane tasks of everyday life. That was what we were promised, right? Now it seems like, well, now that it's being done faster, now you've got time to do more. And talk about insisting on making life complicated. We're doing it ourselves. We do it ourselves. And people who live life simply will always, it always seems that their level of happiness is visible, you know. Just looking back, growing up, as a member of my particular family and the time that I grew up, and in our situation that we grew up, not having a lot of things, but remembering that time with joy, remembering the joy of that time. Not everybody has the same life. Not everybody has the opportunity to have grown up in a manner that allows them to reflect back on it and think of joy. But we insist on making it complicated. The second half of that quote says, every single moment we're alive is a chance at rebirth. That is what I say. That is my quote. Every single moment we're alive is a chance at rebirth. It's an opportunity. We choose. Choose to make it difficult. Choose to make it easier on ourselves. Choose to not make it any more complicated than it has to be. Every single moment we're alive is a chance at rebirth. What do you choose? Are you going to be choosing to look at the most difficult path for your life? Are you going to choose to look for the joy, to look for the happiness, to look for the ones that bring you sunshine? Or are you going to be choosing to look for the shadows? Unless you find joy in shadows, joy in solitude, but joy. Not, I want to be alone because I want to brood. Nothing like that. joy. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Confucius. Last one. And the article is stop taking yourself so seriously. 10 quotes about happiness, laughter, and letting go. Guillaume Apollinaire. Now and then, it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. What a great quote to end this December 28th, 2020 talk today. Now and then, it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. Isn't that awesome? That is a phenomenal quote. Pause in our pursuit of happiness. Why? But why should I pause in my pursuit of happiness? Because that endeavor is causing many people unhappiness. It causes many people distress and anxiety and anger. I'm just the pursuit of happiness. Why? Because happiness can be elusive if you make it something intangible that even you don't know what's going to make you happy. Somebody just popped in right now while I was doing that, and they happened to pop in right when I was scolding you. And they're like, I'm out. you know, and that's funny to me, right? So you got to look at the funny things and things that make you fun, make you laugh. Put your pursuit of happiness in perspective. What are you pursuing to bring you joy? Are you pursuing a higher position in your job? Are you pursuing more money because you convinced yourself that's the only way you're going to be happy? And then you hear all the different camps about money can't buy you happiness. And they always like, money can't buy you happiness, but it buys you some great things to be miserable in, whatever. But if you are in a pursuit of happiness and you don't know really what that is, it's kind of, something vague that you're trying to figure out. Will you ever be able to truly capture and attain happiness? Will your pursuit ever end? Will your pursuit end in time for you to be able to enjoy your happiness? For you to be able to be happy? That's been a quote. And just smack the microphone. That's been a quote. Be happy. I can't be happy. I just can't. Every single moment you're alive is a chance at rebirth. You choose. Choose to allow something that makes you unhappy to continue making you unhappy, or allow yourself to be happy. The entire quote is this: now and then it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. That's it. Just be happy. And that's such a phenomenal quote for me to end on, for me. And for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's a great quote. And for me, that's a great quote. Now and then it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. I want to share that individually, just going to have to share that quote as a standalone because that is just phenomenal. Let me just copy that so I can save it and take it to heart. I'll save that right there. Oops, that didn't happen. And take it to heart. I hope you had a wonderful morning with me today. I thank you for sharing however amount of time you shared with me today. I thank you. I really am appreciative of you spending some of your time with me. If you didn't get a chance to see the whole thing as I was doing it live, feel free to check out the replay of it. There's some wonderful, beautiful quotes in this article about happiness, laughter, and letting go as we get ready to put away this year that has been 2020 and hopefully welcome something better in 2021. That's how we got to look forward to it. Look forward with optimism and hope, and look for the happiness in what is to come, and expect happiness, and do our part to bring some happiness into the lives of people we love and we care about. I hope to be back on Wednesday, which is going to be the 30th, man, and kind of wrap up the year and see how we do on that morning at 8 a.m. That's my plan. It's a little difficult to get up when like nobody's working, nobody's going to school, still getting up to do these, but I enjoy doing these, and I hope you enjoyed them as well. Please feel free to share my video, tag your friends, and let them know that something like this exists, and maybe we can bring some joy into their days. And you definitely bring joy into mine. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I wish you happiness. I wish you happiness, laughter, and joy. And now and then, it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and we'll be talking.